Is skipping breakfast bad for you? Skip breakfast side effects and benefits. One of the stories I heard until my ears bled was that breakfast is vital. Eat at least a spoon and go. My mother's scolding voice still rings in my ears. Like a habit, I eat breakfast and go to school or go to work, and I wonder, is this right? The conclusion of this chapter might be described as you must discard the stereotypes about breakfast that you have previously known. Eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a beggar, as the adage goes. But it's not for everyone, and it's an old adage. Breakfast can be tailored to your preferences. Let's look at the benefits and drawbacks of breakfast. And before we start, smash that subscribe button for more videos like this in the future. 1. Let's start with the story of the side who insists on eating breakfast. Breakfast is an important source of energy for the day's activities, so you must prioritize it. According to experts, even when you fall asleep, the heartbeat does not stop and numerous metabolisms continue, so glucose, the primary energy source, is progressively used. As a result, when you wake up the next day, the glucose that should be provided to your brain is nearly depleted, and you must restore it. They claim that skipping breakfast reduces all body processes since energy is not supplied for more than 16 hours from the night before until noon. Furthermore, specialists warn that, even if there is no immediate danger to life, skipping breakfast can lead to a variety of health issues in the long run. For starters, persons who skip breakfast are at a higher risk of malnutrition. This is because our bodies require calories and nutrients 3 times a day. Furthermore, if you eat a meal on an empty stomach for an extended period of time, your blood sugar quickly rises, and the majority of the calories consumed are stored as body fat. As a result, they become overweight or obese, putting them at risk for metabolic syndrome, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. Furthermore, skipping breakfast and overeating at lunch or dinner puts a strain on the stomach and raises the risk of gastrointestinal disorders. Breakfast, in particular, provides glucose, which is the brain's primary energy source. Because glucose metabolism in the brain is higher in children and teenagers than in adults, skipping breakfast can diminish focus and learning ability, as well as cause tiredness or anxiousness, the noted. When a person who misses breakfast suddenly begins eating, it puts a strain on the stomach. Dietary fiber-rich diets, high-protein foods, and non-refined carbohydrate foods are helpful for reducing stomach discomfort. Along with dairy goods such as yogurt, dietary fiber foods such as lettuce or cabbage, high-protein foods such as eggs or soft tofu, and non-refined carbohydrate foods such as multigrain rice or whole wheat bread are recommended. On the other hand, many people skip breakfast in favor of a glass of milk or an apple. Eating these items on an empty stomach might boost stomach acid secretion, which can aggravate heartburn. On an empty stomach, he recommends avoiding organic acid-rich tangerines, oranges, and lemons, as well as caffeine-rich coffee, black tea, and green tea. Medical scientists frequently argue that eating too much breakfast is unhealthy. And, rather than eating immediately after waking up, it is preferable to eat after stretching for around 30 minutes. They also agree that eating numerous meals rather than a large meal at once can lessen stomach strain and avoid obesity. Many people believe that it is best not to skip meals as much as possible because adolescents are quite active and have very active metabolisms that demand a lot of energy. It is thought that only when the body saves energy can growth occur. Furthermore, teenagers frequently become anxious when they are hungry, which can interfere with their emotional development, which is why eating breakfast is recommended. 2. Here are some viewpoints from those who disagree that you need to have breakfast. Because everyone has a different biorhythm and lifestyle, it is impossible to say whether you should or should not eat breakfast in quantity. Medical scientists that hold this viewpoint claim that it is healthy to eat if you are hungry when you get up in the morning, but there is no need to eat if you are not. If you can ingest all 5 nutrients and consume the needed 2,000 calories per day, lunch and supper are sufficient, and it makes no difference whether you eat 4 or 5 meals. Whether or not you have breakfast absolutely depends on your lifestyle, one expert remarked. The assumption that 3 or 2 meals a day is beneficial is an idea that ignores people's lifestyle, another expert stated. It's beneficial for those who are physically active to eat breakfast because they have a lot of exercise, but it's not required if you're not, he says. Furthermore, there is an argument that we should abandon the traditional 3-meal-a-day paradigm entirely. They claim that a glass of milk and a handful of peanuts are sufficient meals. The most essential thing is to shift existing perception of eating, a medical professor remarked. Whether you discard the notion that a meal consists of both rice and soup, it doesn't matter if you have 10 meals a day, not just 3, he insisted. If you eat breakfast you don't want to eat, blood is more focused in the stomach to digest it, one expert adds. If you're not hungry in the morning, your stomach isn't ready to receive food, he explained. In response to the widely held belief that many specialists require carbohydrates in the morning to activate brain activity, he stated, it is better to drink carrots and apple juice, which are less demanding to digest, instead of meals. People who do not eat breakfast frequently wind up ruining their day when they eat breakfast on the advice of others. Eating habits are lifelong tendencies. About 22 digestive enzymes are required for us to digest normally, and if we forcefully push food at a time when the secretion habit has not been developed, it is inevitable that way may have indigestion. Even if you make an attempt, changing your existing eating patterns takes time, so if someone around you says, I don't feel like eating breakfast, don't tell them, you still have to eat breakfast. Other benefits of skipping breakfast include lowering your risk of digestive diseases and allowing time for waste items to be processed in the blood to purify it. 3. So, in the same way, let's study about breakfast and diet myths. It is a well-known story that skipping breakfast causes you to get ravenous and eat more food than usual at lunch and dinner. It is alleged that this causes weight gain. But is it actually true? The meta-study report, which is a thorough analysis of numerous studies, indicates that there does not appear to be a connection between breakfast and diet. The following 4 facts were discovered in an experiment that looked at 435 adult participants over a period of more than 4 weeks. 1. Compared to those who ate breakfast, those who skipped it shed more weight. Those who skipped breakfast shed 1.19 pounds more during the experiment. 2. Body mass index, BMI, and fat mass did not differ. 3. Those who skipped breakfast saw a significant increase in LDL cholesterol. 4. Blood pressure, HDL, insulin, fasting glucose, and other heart rates did not differ. Other studies could come to the same findings. The difference between having breakfast and not eating breakfast, it has been determined, is not a result of weight loss, but rather a change in lifestyle. 4. Breakfast is, after all, a personal preference. The discussion of breakfast is intended to highlight the fact that it is not really a choice between eating and not eating. Claire, a nutritionist in Melbourne, emphasizes the significance of our body's message above all else. Some people don't like breakfast. While it could be a sign of health for some, it can also be a burden that makes their day miserable for others. Many healthy individuals skip breakfast. Simply put, they are individuals who spend the remainder of the day eating very well. In actuality, your health is not determined by your breakfast, rather, it depends on what you consume and how you manage it over the course of a week. It doesn't matter in terms of weight management as long as the daily curve of rising and dropping energy is consistent. They don't have to eat breakfast as something that is necessary, and I don't have to make people eat it unless their bodies require it. Kathy, a nutritionist, added, you don't have to feel obligated to eat breakfast at an early hour. Since we are all unique, we must learn to pay attention to our body's demands. You are not obligated to eat if it is midday and you are not hungry. Before concluding, if you like this video, don't forget hit that like button, and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this in the future. Also, be sure to turn on the bell notification so you never miss any of our videos. The amount of energy you need to consume per day is predetermined, and bringing in the energy you need is not impossible, whether you eat it divided into breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or only one meal in the evening. Ideally, you should distribute them wisely and consume them when you are most in need of them. Breakfast is good, and if it's a habit, you can keep eating it. What if you have a bad feeling? Do not consume. Important are a calorie-controlled, well-balanced diet and appropriate exercise, but having breakfast is not necessarily beneficial. So, what do you think about this topic? Let us know what you think in the comments section.